Hi everyone. We are about to end and wrap up Unit 1, and I am getting ready to come back next week. Unit 1 will wrap up, I believe, on Thursday with a unit test. And to prepare for this unit test, there's a couple things that you need to be aware of. The Unit 1 test is mimicking the AP exam. So it's a 1/4 of the AP exam. So you have a 47-minute class period on Thursday. Well, 50 minutes, I think. What it's going to be is when you walk in the classroom, you're going to all of you are going to take your multiple choice portion. This needs to be on pen and paper. It's going to be Scantron. The time will begin, and everyone has 24 minutes to complete the multiple choice. So as you're going through multiple choice, if there's one question you don't know, you definitely want to skip it and make a mark to come back to that question. You definitely want to practice some of the math, and remember, math doesn't need to be an exact thing. If you can round those numbers out and say, I know it's at least going to be between, let's say, 50 and 100, that limits your options so you can get the best choice for multiple choice. If you finish your multiple choice, you just need to sit tight. You may not begin the free response question until the 24 minutes are up. And when that 24 minutes is up, then you'll be given the free response question, in which you'll have 24 minutes to write that free response question. Please look over those tips and tricks that I gave you, that handout of the things that you should say. I have been seeing a lot of things are toxic, this is polluting, it's bad for the environment. Those are vague terms, those will all get you no credit. So let's just say a free response question said, define acid rain. And you would say something like, acid rain has a low pH. No credit. Okay. We want to use all of our knowledge, but not go beyond and not flower it up. Like, don't give me an extra description or example if it's not asking for that. So if the question is define acid rain, I would say acid rain is precipitation that falls with a low pH around 5.2. This acid rain forms when fossil fuels are combusted, releasing sulfur oxides and nitrogen oxides that combine with water to make sulfuric acid. Done. It's not that long, but I have to be straight to the point. Okay. If it said you do a calculation, part B, do a calculation of how much more a bleach is with a pH of 3 than tap water is with a pH of 7.0. What I know is that there's an interval there from 3 to 7 to 4, which means that would be 10 to the 4th power, and I'm going to show all my work when I write this. 10 to the 4th power essentially means 10 times 10 times 10 times 10. So that's adding 1, 2, 3, 4 zeros to 10. So I am going to have 10,000 times, and I would show that out. I'm sorry, that took me a while to do in my head. If you're not good on math, that's something you're going to want to practice. Okay, we want to be really well versed in using our definitions that we've done on those vocab sheets. And anytime that you're asked or you use a vocab word in your free response question, I would underline the word so that you know that you are telling me that that is a key vocab word, and then define that word. So anytime we're using any of those vocab words that we spent time writing out, I would look over those lists. Using those on a free response question are going to gain you points if it applies. Okay, don't be throwing vocab words in there if it does not apply. Okay. When your free response is done, you have 24 minutes to complete. That will also be turned in, and this is weighted. So just like the AP exam, 60% of your total grade on the Unit 1 test is going to come from the multiple choice section, and 40% is going to be weighted on the free response question. To help you prepare, I've put together a review of a couple of different questions that is posted on Schoology that's required for you, and I would write that out on a notebook paper. So question 1, write the answer, 2, write the answer. It's like 30 questions. The second thing that I did that I think will be really helpful is on the online book, I put together a multiple choice practice test. I just pulled questions from a question bank, 25, because that's how many is going to be on your unit test. I put a timer on that, so you have 24 minutes to complete it, and you all can do that unlimited times. It is not graded, and it will show you answers and stuff like that. So that's another way that you can study. Also, reviewing how to write free response questions, especially if you've never written one for an AP exam or are not really well in your science writing. You can go to the Red Hawk Academy tonight, Monday night, and get some help from some science teachers that are in there. And then also looking at some of the questions in the book, and then looking at the vocab and knowing definitions. If you have questions between now and Thursday when you take that test, please see me. This was kind of a beginning, laying the foundation, making sure we all know what sustainability is, renewable resources are, can we do the math, do we know the chemistry background, do we know the economics behind what drives the market and the goods that we buy. Next up is our water quality and water pollution unit. It's one of my favorites. So what I have lined up Wednesday, so our next day of school next week is Tuesday. There's no school Monday. Tuesday we're going to get ready to go on our field trip, and I'm really excited for this. I have a couple things lined up. We're going to do all of our water quality testing, and I'm going to explain that all on Tuesday so we're all prepared for the field trip on Wednesday. We'll talk a little bit more about that field trip. Remember, you do have to pack a lunch. And also, if anyone has any waders, I need a couple pairs. I'm looking around for some now for that field trip. I'll need some kids to help me bring some stuff down. The second part of the day we'll spend at the Fontana Pier in Lake Geneva, and you're actually going to have a pen pal with many different people throughout the United States looking at some environmental issues, and you'll have the day to kind of sit down and write your first letter. Yes, we're going to handwrite letters. We're going to send them in the mail, and you will be getting a response from someone. California, Massachusetts, I think New York. I have a bunch of different students are participating in that. The other thing that I have lined up besides the field trip for water quality is I've contacted the top leading researcher on plastic pollution, and she agreed that she would speak with us at the end of October about her research, and you guys will find her unbelievable. She has inspired me probably the most in teaching this course. I've taught it, now this is my third year, and you will really enjoy her. Her name is Dr. Sam Mason, and she is awesome. So if you have questions, please let me know. As we move into our next units, you're going to get more and more excited about the things that we learn. They're going to be more applicable. And I think you're all doing great. We need a little bit more work on our study habits, especially preparing for our quizzes, but know that those are just small points going in the grade book, summative points, 15 here or there, but our unit tests are going to be worth a lot, and those are high stakes. So let's make sure we're prepared using our work time and using the resources I have set aside for you. And if you do want to reach out and get some help from me, please email me, let me know, or you can connect with me on Google Hangouts, and I will see you in 1 week. Bye, everyone.